Welcome to Sense Style. I'm Stuart. 10 fragrances to attract a classy and sophisticated woman. And as you can see, I've used 3 women from Fragcom in the thumbnail because generally I think that people that wear fragrances, they just care a little bit more about their appearance, not necessarily making them classier and sophisticated. I work in healthcare. I know a lot of classy people working in healthcare, and they're usually covered in bodily fluids. However, I do think that people that care about their appearance have a little bit more self-esteem. I do think being classy and sophisticated is a good thing. I have to admit, I am more attracted to women that take care of themselves. I think that's important. And so I try to do my best as well. Fragrance number 1, this is Pacific Rock Moss by Goldfield and Banks. This is an Australian house, and it's a niche house. So when you're dealing with niche, you're always dealing with something a little higher quality, something that's got a good name value. I mean, that's always going to help when you're dealing with a sophisticated lady. The thing about this one, though, that really surprised me is just how much I actually liked it. I did not expect to like it at all. I grew up in Australia. I got that more for sentimental reasons, but it's different. It's a little bit outside the norm. I just like it a lot more than I thought. It's got a geranium note that is truly niche. So it is a fresh fragrance, a lot of lemon and an aromatic quality, but the geranium gives it a little bit of greenness, a very, very fresh green note with just the tiniest hint of sweetness. It's fantastic. People complain about the performance of this. All I can say is my experience with it was the performance was fine. It wasn't spectacular, but it was certainly good enough for me to give it, at least moderate to a little bit more than moderate rating in terms of performance. Fragrance number 2, this is Dior Homme 2020. The most maligned sophisticated fragrance probably ever. I don't know now whether I like this more or the Dior Homme line more. That's how much I like Dior Homme 2020. I have a bottle of this, a large bottle in my future. I've gone through 2 decants already. I'm not going through the third. This one is a very fresh opening. It's got elemi and bergamot and some pink pepper, so a little spicy fresh, and then 4 musky, woody notes in the base. Super elegant. I was on a trip to Toronto. I put some of this on, and I kept saying over and over again how amazing it smelled. It's just phenomenal. Fragrance number 3, a little bit different. This is Prada Amber, and this is expensive soap. The first 2 fragrances I wouldn't have a problem wearing on a date. This isn't really a date style fragrance, but if you're dealing with someone sophisticated, elegant, classy, that kind of thing, this is not going to go over badly. Like, you're smelling expensive, you're smelling high quality. It's got very good performance. I tend to think of this more, though, as office professional. But again, it's a Prada. It's very, very clean and very high end. So you can definitely wear it. Fragrance number 4, this is Lalique Encre Noire Sport. In any list where you're dealing with sophistication or classiness, you're going to throw in a third word, which would be elegant. And I listened to a song in the beginning. The singer, she's a woman, she goes, "My father always said to me, elegance is elimination." And I think that's so true. Elegance is a simplicity, not being, encumbered by all kinds of crap. It's just really good, very simple, very clean. And that's essentially what you're getting with vetiver with this. And that's why vetiver is seen as a very classy, very sophisticated note. And there's absolutely no question in my mind that this is like that, even though it is a relatively inexpensive house. So there is also some cypress in it and some grapefruit, but for the most part, you're getting that clean, woody, elegant vetiver, which will always work in that kind of situation. Fragrance number 5, Dior Homme Intense. This fragrance is completely adopted by Fragcom. People that like and know fragrances, people that collect fragrances, have voted this a #1 fragrance of all time, all 7 years that Fragrantica has held the voting awards. I don't think you're going to go on Fragrantica if you're just Joe Blow who buys, maybe has 2 or 3 fragrances on their bureau. People that really like fragrances love this. It just changed the game when it came to iris. This is a lipsticky iris. There are some people that don't like it. and that's fair enough. I mean, different strokes and everything, but yeah, I don't really need to explain this much further. So I've talked about elegance quite a bit and sophistication, and this one, not so much. However, it's very high quality. This is Velvet by Franck Boclet. Now, this is actually a designer house. Franck Boclet said, he comes from a designer, but he said, I want to make niche fragrances. Well, sorry, Frank, you can't just do that. You're a designer house. But I kind of know where he's coming from. He makes very creative fragrances, and he makes very high quality. This looks and smells and feels niche to me. But as I said, not so elegant, because the main three notes here, oh boy, peach, plum, and cotton candy. I'm not kidding. This is a cotton candy fragrance. Now, I know a lot of guys are going, oh, I'm never wearing it. The thing is, though, there's a ton of woods, and a very sort of severe woods, cedar and sandalwood, and they more than make up for the cotton candy note. It still feels unisex. It does feel unisex, but it is sweet. And given how sweet so many men's fragrances are, and really that is the only thing that even has a hint of femininity here, is the sweetness. But, you know, there's so many sweet fragrances today. This would fit right in. And it's a very high quality fragrance with really good performance. Next up, this is Him by Zadig and Voltaire. This is a little bit more of an affordable option, but I think in cool weather, this would be an excellent fragrance for, yeah, a sophisticated situation. So yeah, we're talking more a $60 price range. And this is vanilla, and incense, and black pepper. So spicy, vanilla, solid performance, very nice scent. Again, though, you're definitely leaning more of a cool weather situation with this one, that vanilla spicy feel. Next up, we've got Intro Aftermath, and this is by Fragrance World. And I don't think people need to be afraid of wearing clones when they want to smell expensive. Yes, if you probably got a perfumer on a date, they could probably tell it was a clone. But when someone else is smelling something from a distance on you, they're not going to tell if it's synthetic or whatnot. I think it'll be really hard for them to tell the difference. And this is a clone of a very nice gourmandy style fragrance. Vanilla, cinnamon, tobacco, and rum. The rum here, really, really nice. Yeah, oh boy, this one's really good. Yeah, I think it's beautiful. This clone has improved immensely from when I first got it in terms of performance. I now get, 6 hours, no problem. It is, again, though, more of a cool weather fragrance. This one is definitely cool weather. But yeah, I do think clone, in some cases, you'll smell more expensive if you wear a clone. She won't know, you will. Next up, we have Décoration d'une Soir by Cartier. And as you can tell by the bottle, Cartier goes for elegance, goes for high-end feel. And they really nailed it with the opening in this fragrance. Very simple here. Powdery rose, heavy black pepper. That's what you get. And one of the best openings, probably the best sophisticated opening of all time. The first 20 minutes of this blow any woman out of the water in terms of its sophistication. It smells like something, the most high-end event you could possibly be if you smell like the opening here. It's just fantastic. However, and I have to say this, but I find more and more consistently a plasticky feel later on. Again, I don't think other people can notice, but I can notice a synthetic element to this. But I also have to point out that something that smells synthetic on my skin, like something like this, might not smell synthetic on yours. Skin chemistry is a real thing. It's a real deal. I don't want to give a blanket statement on this one, but I do have to be honest about my experience with it. I don't get that early on. Maybe the first half hour is fine, and the opening is just gorgeous. So real kind of mixed feelings with this one, but it is, because people are not going to be able to smell the difference because they're going to be far away or whatever. I do think this would work really well on a date with a sophisticated person, because ultimately it is a sophisticated scent. Next up, we have M7 Oud Absolu by Yves Saint Laurent. And 90 to 95% of the things that I buy are blind buys. Now, some of the fragrances that I buy are blind buys. I have a good idea. you know, what the fragrance is going to smell like, whether it's good, bad, whether I'll really enjoy it. Every now and again, I think there's 4 or 5 times I've hit a home run with a fragrance. Like a blonde bought it and it's been way better than what I thought it was going to be. This is one of those. This is absolutely magnificent fragrance for me. This is kind of a little bit of a dirty oud. I love oud. If you're dealing in a date situation with a woman you know is a little more exotic and will be a little bit more tolerant of something like oud, you have to be careful. A lot of women don't like oud. This would be a good candidate. And certainly for me, I feel comfortable wearing this because I just love it so much. This was a home run as far as a blind buy goes. Just absolutely adore it. Anyway, yeah, sophisticated women, I got to admit, I do like them. I dated a few teachers in my day, and what can I say? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.